channel, Blue Nose Trading. My name is Tori Solis, and today I'm going to be testing Amethyst Glaze from Penguin Pottery Celadon Glaze Series. I'm going to be testing this glaze on 7 different clay body test tiles, as well as on a textured white stoneware mug. I'm happy to let y'all know that Penguin Pottery reached out and sent me lots of their glazes to make test videos for the channel. Penguin Pottery is a small clay business located in Vermont. They include a lifetime warranty with their glazes, which is really cool of them. Penguin Pottery's commitment to working sustainably is one of my favorite parts of our collaboration. Sustainability is an important consideration for me as I go through my life as well. Thank you again, Penguin Pottery. I'm so thankful I get to share these wonderful glazes with everyone. This is a Cone 6 glaze that's listed as lead-free, non-toxic, and food safe. Before I use any glaze, but especially a brand new glaze, it's important to make sure that the glaze is thoroughly mixed. To make sure this glaze is unquestionably mixed, I would normally use my power drill with an egg beater attachment. This is my favorite way to quickly mix up my glazes, but it doesn't look like my beater is going to fit into this test sample size jar. Plan B is to poke around at the bottom of the glaze jar to make sure there isn't any extra mineral clumped up down there, and then replacing the lid and using my thumbs to secure the lid the entire time, shake the holy tarnation out of the jar. These Penguin Pottery glazes seem to always arrive pretty well mixed, but it's still important to mix yourself to ensure consistency and reliability with each application. I'm going to be brushing glaze onto my test tiles. In most cases, I am brushing on my glazes. This glaze was formulated for brushing specifically. If you want to dip this glaze, Penguin Pottery recommends that you use a dispersing agent like Darvan. I brush my test tiles in 1, 2, and 3 coats with the thickest coat at the top of the tile. I fired my tiles hanging on a high alumina rod to see how the glaze will perform in a vertical surface. In this way, I'm also testing for running. With the thickest coat of glaze at the top of the tile, if it's going to run, it has somewhere to go. For the test mug, I'm going to try 2 coats of glaze, but I would also like to mention that I am a silly goose, and it is listed right here on the front of all Penguin Pottery glazes that they recommend you use 3 coats for best coverage. So there you have it, folks. I'm still going to test 1, 2, and 3 coats on my tiles just to see, because you don't always have to follow what's recommended. With testing, we can make our own educated decisions on what effect and thicknesses we are going for in our own work. This mug is going to be tested with 2 coats because before I noticed my mistake, I had already glazed this mug and made this video, so we're rolling with 2 coats on this mug today. I like to test glazes on a lot of different clay bodies to get a rough idea of how a glaze is going to behave on different colors or surfaces. Everyone out there is working with different kinds of clay, and maybe one of these tiles can help you guess what might happen for you. As always, I strongly recommend that you make your own test tiles in your own kiln. Fire your tiles exactly how you would fire your normal work. There are a lot of different factors that go into how a glaze is going to turn out. The best way to see how a glaze is going to work in your kiln on your clay with your own application is to do your own tests. So first, let's look at this textured white stoneware mug. This looks just like the crystal amethyst. The intensity of the purple is a bit subdued on this mug, but the stone itself can vary greatly in color saturation. I should also note that this mug has 2 coats of glaze, and as I also mentioned, Penguin Pottery does recommend 3 coats for best coverage, so maybe with 1 more coat, this purple could be extra rich, though I do appreciate the subtle softness of this 2-coat mug. Here on my white stoneware test tile, it's a bit tricky to see much difference between the number of coat applications. However, you can definitely see this glaze makes gorgeous amethyst crystals wherever it pools. This glaze has a lot of potential over textured surfaces. The surface has a clean and glossy finish. I don't see any crazing, and this appears to be a good fit for this body. Tested on Laguna B-Mix, this glaze behaves much the same. A lovely glossy soft purple. I think more texture would be better to create interest with this glaze, but the lighter clay bodies seem to be better. The color of this glaze is bright and the surface is glossy on Laguna Frost porcelain. I think there's a lot of potential for working with this glaze on a porcelain surface. You can really get the most out of the color on a bright white body. This glaze also seems pretty stable on this test tile without any clear signs of wanting to run. On my spectacular clay, this glaze was a bit more seemingly opaque on this body than I initially expected. I think it's something going on in the body because this is a Celadon glaze, so it shouldn't have any kind of opacifiers in it. There is also a slight bit of crazing. Otherwise, the color is still a lovely purple and it pools nicely. The Laguna Speckled Buff tile is a bit darker, which is more expensive expected than the last speckled clay, but still lavender. I think this glaze is personally best on brighter white bodies, but if you like the way this looks, it has a glossy finish and no signs of crazing, so it is a good fit here. The results on red stoneware are about what I would expect. The color is darkened even more with the darker clay body. The surface is starting to lose some of its gloss to texture, but it is still a usable fit if you like the look of it. I don't like what this glaze is doing on Laguna 3 B3 black clay, but I don't like what 85% of glazes do on this clay body. The pitting is minimal and the color is still sort of purple, so it might work out on a larger piece, but I would seriously recommend that you take it easy and test a lot. The results on the Laguna Azabache are equally terrible, but it didn't blister all the heck, so it might be technically usable. All around, this is a lovely amethyst celadon that performs best, in my opinion, on bright white clay bodies and has a lot of potential on a heavily textured surface. As a final reminder, we have different kinds of kilns and clay, so be sure to do your own testing out there. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed learning more about this glaze and can make use of this information in your own studio. If you'd like to help support my channel so I can get more glazes to test for you, consider becoming a supporter of my channel at patreon.com/bluenosetrading. If you'd like to see all the ceramics I currently have available for sale, visit my website, bluenosetrading.com. If you'd like to stick around for a weekly art video, be sure to subscribe to this channel, Blue Nose Trading. I post a full-length art video every Friday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time and daily art shorts. Thank you again, Penguin Pottery Supplies, for sending me the glazes to make these test videos for everyone. Thank you for being here till the end of the video. Remember that you have great ideas that are worth exploring. Drink lots of water, and I will see y'all next week.